Winfrey, good morning.
Good morning, Fatia.
Good to see you. Let's start off with one of the stories, of course, that has been trending since last week. The KCPE results came out, but there's been some questions over some errors in the results. Tell us about that.
Well, yes, Fatia, indeed we received the KCPE results for 2023 on Thursday last week. And as soon as the CS was done officially releasing the results to the public, that's when the complaints start. Actually, the first complaints were when parents were trying to access their results, and it took like 2 to 3 hours for them to access the results. You would send SMSs to the code that was given, and then it would tell you to wait for some time. But instead, the money was being the airtime was being consumed while you are doing this. So that's where the complaints began. Mm-hmm. But as time now went by, so many issues came up online, and in fact there's a results list for Brainstar Academy that went viral online, and in this results it showed that all the pupils in that school scored a 75 in science, which is actually a bit questionable, because when you look at just the laws of nature, there has to be someone who's brighter than the others and another one who's a bit lower in terms of performance. So this raised a lot of questions, and of course NEC came out and said the results are genuine, although people are still raising more and more questions. So yesterday, ACK Archbishop Jackson Sapit, and he's a very popular clergyman, and he has a very strong voice when it comes to commenting on issues of national interest. So yesterday he was attending an ACK function at Nakuru, and this is where he actually told the officials of NEC to actually look into these complaints and make sure they address the issues. And remember also, Fatia, when you look at posts that are being made online concerning this KCPE 2023 results, some people were saying my child would get 400 marks and above. But now when the results are coming, now they have 320, 310, 330. So it's not so clear what really went wrong. Is it really, was there standardization of marks that was done, or what really happened during the delays that were experienced after the CES released the results, and now before people started receiving the results through the SMS code? Of course, people are also saying that not people, actually NEC came out and said that they did not give the results directly to Safaricom, because Safaricom is the operator that was initiating the results, transferring the results from NEC to the parents. They were saying there was another source in between Safaricom and the Kenya National Examination Council. So this is quite a big issue, because it's affecting so many. And really, when you look at it, this is a 13, 14-year-old kid. When you start subjecting them to such unfair processes, really it kills their morale, it lowers their self-esteem, and it also erodes their morals as people, because they'll be like, even if I work hard, something will be done somewhere and I will not get what I actually deserve. So Fatia, this is something that is really still developing, but you're really looking up to NEC and for them to give us a solid or a tangible explanation as to why all these complaints are coming out, because it's not a usual affair to have more than 10, 12, 100 people complaining over the same thing. That means there is a problem somewhere and it needs to be addressed. Although this is the final KCPE exam, we hope going forward, when we're looking at the KCSE results going forward, we'll not have a repeat of the same. The complaints are just too much online, Fatia.
Right, of course. And the only people who can answer that is, or can address that, is the Education Ministry. So let's see if there'll be any other developments. But let's move to another story, of course. The floods, the El Nino rains has been wreaking havoc in the country. At least 70 people have died so far from the effects of this, 36,000 households being displaced. Tell us more about that.
Well, Fatia, indeed, we have heavy rains across the country. Actually, when you travel, for instance, you travel from Nairobi to Kisumu, all through the way you meet, there is rain in every part of the country. And it's also very important to note that most of this arid and semi-arid lands are the ones that are mostly affected. We also have the coast, the Ukambani region, the northeastern part, and also the lowland areas are adversely affected. But it's very interesting to see that Mombasa is one of the cities that have actually been affected so much by the rains. And what is coming out is the planning. The planning does not accommodate such heavy rains and the population that is also there. So like over the weekend, there were 3 officials who were trying to unclog a drainage in Mombasa town at Makupa roundabout, and they were actually the water was so heavy, so the strength of the water drew them into the drainage, and they died. Their bodies were retrieved. So actually, Governor of Mombasa, Abdul Samad, was saying that they will have to look into all the infrastructure there, renovate roads, and make sure they have drainages that are a bit wide to accommodate that amount of water, which is now too much for the existing drainage systems. So another thing that is also coming out is the Ukambani area. They have really suffered. We've reported so many deaths, especially in Makueni County. So far, there are like 20. Yesterday alone, we had 5 deaths, 4 have been retrieved, 1 is still missing, and it's also very interesting to see that they are complaining over a bridge. They lack a bridge to cross from one side to the other of River Muoni, and the river now, when the water levels of the river are too high, it becomes hard. So far, that is what we have, and we are expecting today the president is going to meet the cabinet at State House just for them to look into these issues, Fatia.
Right. Winfrey, thank you very much for bringing